the Paloma Batman spin-off crossover movie that nobody wanted, that nobody needed, that's co-written by Sam Levinson, is here. Let's talk about it. Deep Water releases today on Hulu, and it stars Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck as Vic and Melinda Van Allen, who are a couple in the small town of Little Wesley. Their loveless marriage is held together only by a precarious arrangement whereby, in order to avoid the messiness of divorce, Melinda is allowed to take any number of lovers as long as she does not desert her family. Deep Water has an intriguing premise, and it's really something that I was actually kind of curious to see because the director, Adrian Lyne, I think that's how you say his name, has not directed a movie in 20 years, but I'll tell you right now, it totally shows that he has not directed a movie in 20 years. This was a frustratingly awkward, illogical, discount version of Gone Girl. And when I mean discount version of Gone Girl, it's a discount version of Gone Girl. It literally hides in the shadows of a movie that is so much better than this movie. It literally aspires to be a David Fincher psychological thriller. The thing is, though, is that this is listed as an erotic psychological thriller. I didn't find any eroticism in here at all. I mean, hey, at least it's more erotic than 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey is not erotic at all. Anybody who finds that sexy, I question what you think is actually erotic. This movie, yeah, tries to be erotic, but even then, it's not erotic. It's awkward. The way Ben Affleck's character just looks at people in this movie, it's just awkward. I guess that's part of the movie's appeal. I guess that brings up some tension, so it does do a good job of building inner tension within the characters, but you as the audience doesn't really feel that tension is earned. But his inner conflict really doesn't come to a head until about halfway into the movie, and that's when things really start to get interesting. The thing is that this movie has an interesting premise, poor execution, and it's because the director hasn't directed a movie in 20 years. Let's talk about that for a minute, because the director does not know how to move characters in and out of the frame in an adequate way in many scenes. Scenes are just cut very short. There's so many continuity issues. It really breaches illogical senses and consequences. There are so many things that pop up in certain scenes where you're just like, okay, we're in the same area in the next scene. We're like, this scene is connected to the previous scene, but where is such and such? Like, for instance, Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas in this movie have a young daughter. There's two scenes that are spliced back to back in the same location. She's in the first scene that's in that location, but then in the next scene, she's not there. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Where'd she go? Like, there's a scene where they're in a car and she's in the back seat, and then the next scene, she's not even there. I'm like, what? Did you bring her to the orphanage or something? Did you bring her to the adoption agency? Give her up to child services? I mean, hey, you know what? I wouldn't trust these people with my kids, so yeah, child services would probably work out best for this kid. But the little girl that plays their daughter was the best part of the movie, as was Ana de Armas, because Ana de Armas, as an actress, she is just so vibrant, she's bubbly, she's very radiant in this movie. She's the one in this movie who was actually trying. Ben Affleck, look, I'll defend Ben Affleck as an actor. I think he got a little bit too much hate for Batman. That version of Batman, no, I think deserves all the hate it gets. He did what he could with Batman, with the material he was given, and for me, he wasn't as bad of a Batman as some people make him out to be. It's just, like I said, the material that he was given as Batman just wasn't very good. But Ben Affleck in this movie is just playing himself. He's Ben Affleck. He and Ana de Armas, shitty chemistry, which is strange because I think that this is the movie that got them to date in real life, and they have more chemistry in real life than they do in an actual movie, which, when that usually happens, I usually pick up on the chemistry. Like Tom Holland and Zendaya, dating in real life. I buy their chemistry as Peter Parker and MJ. That was cast meticulously and perfectly. And now it's happening in real life, and it's like, I can picture that. Like, that's a tangible relationship in real life, because they got so much chemistry. They feed off each other so much. Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck don't do that in this movie. It's just awkward dialogue with awkward eroticism. This movie thinks that it's just, oh, hey, look, sexy time. And it's really not that. There are things that happen in this third act, if you want to call it a third act, because I think it's really just 2 acts that really defy logic. And it's not even continuity errors. There are things that happen where I just say to myself, that would never happen in real life. For a movie that seems like it is trying to be as realistic as possible, none of this seems possible, especially what happens at the end. It's like it's missing a half-hour of runtime. And originally, when I went on IMDb, it said the runtime was 2 hours and 33 minutes, and it got bumped down to 1 hour and 55. It does feel like there is another half hour missing. It doesn't feel like a 3-act structure. Sure, I know that there are movies that defy the 3-act structure. The Last Jedi, for instance. Say what you want about The Last Jedi. You guys know me. I love The Last Jedi. But that's not a 3-act movie. That is a movie that has a 4-act structure. This movie has a 2-act structure, and it's very weird because it's one of those movies that doesn't get by on a 2-act structure. It feels like it needs that 3rd act. The Last Jedi needed that 4th act, and it delivered with that 4th act. This movie starts to ratchet everything up at the end of the 2nd act, and when it seems like it's starting to get interesting, it just ends because, you know, screenplay co-written by Sam Levinson. I'm like, whoa, alright, well, we just did some really weird things that don't make any sense at all, and now the movie's over. Okay, I guess that's that then. Deep Water has an intriguing premise. Ana de Armas is electric. There is some tension within Ben Affleck's character, especially an inner conflict there and what he's thinking inside his head. And the little girl that plays their daughter is really great, but everything else, from structure to directing to just continuity errors and illogical things that happen in the movie, I can't give this a recommendation. It is the discount version of Gone Girl. I'm gonna say I really enjoyed Deep Water with stale popcorn. Oh man, that sucks, because Hulu has actually had a pretty good track record so far this year. This gets dumped on there. Yeah, this feels like a streaming movie, I'll say that. So guys, have you seen Deep Water? I want to know your thoughts on the movie. Drop me your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.